Busy night tonight. It is now day 681 of the single most incompetent administration in modern American history, and I hope you're happy. In case you're wondering, there is no plan to fix your inflation, no plan to alleviate supply chain issues, no plan to fix the border, no plan to reduce violent crime, no plan to counter China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, or any of the other countries that hate us. And while the White House has no plan at all whatsoever to make our country better or safer, they do have a lot of excuses. You got to give them credit. Now, first up tonight, your Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. She is now blaming inflation on you. You caused it, the American people, and your bad spending habits. It's all your fault. According to Janet, we have just all splurged on too many computer screens and other electronic gadgets. Take a look.
The pandemic had very special impacts on the economy. Remember, everybody stopped spending on services. They were in their homes for a year or more. They wanted to buy grills and office furniture. They were working from home. They suddenly started splurging on goods.
You're splurgers, all of you. Anyway, gluttonous splurging going on. Anyway, definitely not the trillions of dollars in unfunded government spending or the new restrictions on oil and gas. It is you, the American people. You bought too many computers, according to Biden's Treasury Secretary. She's going to get us out of the inflation mess. Good luck. Now, of course, this is only the latest dumb excuse for inflation. Remember, the White House, they also blamed all of this on Vladimir Putin. They blamed it on COVID-19. They blamed it on greedy American corporations, even people that have diabetes. They're to blame. Take a look.
Today's inflation report confirmed what Americans already know. Putin's price hike is hitting America hard.
So this is really the result of, the United States and countries everywhere coming out of a historic pandemic.
If you want to get rid of inflation, the only way to do it is to undo a lot of the Trump tax cuts and raise rates. No Republican is ever going to do that.
Russia's decision to invade Ukraine, multiple successive variants of COVID, and lockdowns in China.
Foreign-owned shipping companies that raise their prices.
The price of gasoline is not set by a dial in the Oval Office. And when an oil company is deciding hour by hour how much to charge you for a gallon of gas, they're not calling the administration to ask what they should do.
The vast majority of the economists think that this is going to be a real tough problem to solve, but it's not because of spending.
Next, they'll blame Bigfoot. Who knows? Now, instead of fixing the problem, they'd rather make excuses. And we see the same thing at our southern border. After 2 years of record illegal immigration, the White House is just refusing to address the crisis. They don't recognize the crisis. Take a look at this exchange between Karine Jean-Pierre and our very own Peter Doocy. Take a look.
We know the president's never been down to the border. The possible next speaker says that he wants him to go with him, so is he going to?
So look, he's been there. He's been to the border, and since he took office.
When did he go to the border?
Since he took office, the President Biden has been taking action to fix our immigration system and secure our border.
When has he been there? That's all a lie. Joe Biden never visited the southern border as your president. Take a look at the screen. This is just the latest in a stream of lies from the Biden administration. They have lied about pretty much everything under the sun, from Amtrak to taxes to federal debt, Social Security, President Xi, you name it, they lied about it. But back to the border. Now, for 2 straight years, record numbers of illegal immigrants have been processed, allowed into the country with, frankly, special privileges. They don't have COVID vaccines or mandates, or, they get a free phone, they get free transportation. We have talked about the millions and millions of people, human trafficking, drug trafficking, fentanyl, opioids, sex trafficking. It's all at an all-time high. Karine Jean-Pierre is laughing about the mere prospect of Joe Biden taking a trip to the border to seeing how bad it is himself. This administration, frankly, they're worthless. In fact, they don't seem to even have the moral courage to tackle any major issue. And as we speak, we have brave Chinese citizens. They're risking their lives and limb to protest the country's repressive totalitarian regime. Joe Biden, he can't be bothered to say one little thing, not one voice of solidarity for the people that are risking their lives. Take a look.
So you have a message to the protesters in China. You spoke about Iran.
Looked like Macron was trying to catch him in case he fell backwards. Anyway, in all honesty, how could the president really speak out against China? They made his entire family really wealthy, and God only knows the dirt that the communist Chinese are holding on the Biden family syndicate. If you think about it, this is the same reason why Apple CEO Tim Cook, he refuses to say a bad word about China. Apple makes a massive amount of money because of the horrific sweatshops that they have in China, all while pretending to be a very woke company. So today on Capitol Hill, Tim Cook didn't want to talk about China. Take a look.
Hi, Mr. Cook. Do you support the Chinese people's right to protest? Do you have any reaction to the factory workers that were beaten and detained for protesting COVID lockdowns? Do you regret restricting airdrop access that protesters used to evade surveillance from the Chinese government? Do you think it's problematic to do business with the Communist Chinese Party when they suppress human rights?
Actually, my Apple phone talks more than him. Anyway, keep in mind the ruling Communist Party of China doesn't just repress its own people. They also target the U.S. in a variety of very malicious ways. They steal our technology. Intellectual property theft is at an all-time high. They spy on American citizens. They harass our troops in the Pacific. They threaten our ally Taiwan with invasion. They actively interfere in our elections. And Democrats care so deeply about election interference, right? Now, according to a brand new report in Forbes, China is using its app TikTok in an attempt to shape our elections this year. Quote, TikTok accounts run by the propaganda arm of the Chinese government have accumulated millions of followers and tens of millions of views, many of them on videos editorializing about U.S. politics. Specifically, the Chinese state-run accounts criticized some candidates, mostly Republicans, and favored others, mostly Democrats. So foreign election interference right there in plain sight, and yet Joe Biden, Democrats are doing nothing to curtail TikTok in the U.S. Kristi Noem is in South Dakota. Now, in fact, in 2021, Biden reversed Trump's proposed TikTok ban. Could it be? I don't know. Once again, Joe gives favorable treatment to Russia on pipelines, favorable treatment to China. Is Joe Biden compromised? Or does he just appreciate the political support from his good friends and business partners in the Chinese Communist Party? Now, tonight, Congressman Jim Jordan is taking a deep dive into China's malicious activity, along with new probes into the Biden administration and their efforts to coordinate with big tech to censor conservative voices and purge conservatives from the FBI. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.